turn the light. Yeah. Belt, check, breastplate, check, up, shoes, check, strap, shield, check, helmet, check, yeah, swerve, check, yeah, spirit, check, go, hold up, that's it, let's go. I got the sword on me, I got the word on me, I'm about to air it out, I'm about to purge it out, I gotta clear it out, yeah, I gotta clear it out, I got them locked up, like Cameroon in here, seated in heavenly places, whoa, calling the shots in here, I want it all, I want the healing and all, I want the blessings and all, get out of my throne, yeah, I got the principality shook, when I pull up to the scene, I got the book of look, and I'm strapped, ayy, 10:19, whoa, Ephesians, ayy, 6:13, whoa, I'm at the flex, ayy, yeah, watch me clean, belt, check, breastplate, check, up, shoes, check, strap, shield, check, helmet, check, yeah, swerve, check, yeah, spirit, check, go, hold up, let's go. I got the sword on me, I got the word on me, I'm about to air it out, I'm about to purge it out, I gotta clear it out, yeah, I gotta clear it out.
I gotta clear it out so I can rep the name that God placed upon me. Watch the way that God changed the game, cause he made the game like he worked for Sony. Every day I approach temptation like a Power Ranger with this armor on me. That's the only way that I remain blameless, cause I'm too dangerous when he call up on me. I got new intentions, check. Time to do the mission, check. Making new decisions, check. Now I'm too forgiving, that's a bet. I can see through every lie that the devil tell me, so I won't ever go for that. And I know God ain't gon' ever fail me, so I ain't never going back to life.
Belt, check, breastplate, check, up, shoes, check, strap, shield, check, helmet, check, yeah, swerve, check, yeah, spirit, check, go, hold up, let's go. I got the sword on me, I got the word on me, I'm about to air it out, I'm about to purge it out, I gotta clear it out, yeah, I gotta clear it out. I remember days I was tripping, I remember days I was slipping, yeah. I remember days I was still caught up in the system. Look, I had to break out the cage, I had to find a way, I had to get down to pray. I ain't no prey, I am alive today, I make them run away, yeah. All of my prayers gon' go, all of my angels gon' go, whoa, whoa. I got the armor on, covered from head to toe, I got the spirit on me, I'm about to put on the show, I'm about to flex like Christ, make him a spectacle, let's go.
And we gon' purge all these demons out. We in the end time. I see your trick. All praise to the Most High. Yahweh Ba Sima Masaya Yasa. Abanawa Allah. I vow to live for you. I need a fast. I'm about to make the devil really mad. I got a soul he can never have. I'm on the road on a narrow path. Messiah, my rock, falling no commands. I'ma get up when I fall like a man, like Moses did when he raised his hands. Keeping that oil in my lap is the plan. We in the end times while you playing. I know the angels watching me. Every day I'm really on my knees. Forgive me, Father, for offending thee. I want Messiah to remember me. I ain't trying to depart from me. Plead the blood, watch them demons flee. Show the Father he all I need. I ain't trying to depart from me. We in the spiritual war. Messiah's right at the door. We in the end time, yeah, for sure. It's really time to shop them swords. Who gon' receive the spiritual power? I'm gonna send it down like a shower. All in that lamp, candles lit. He gon' destroy this in an hour. I told Satan, get thee behind me. I'm in that secret place, he can't find me. Sending them demons at me, get around me. Open that ocean out, but he can't drown me. Who really living and walking the world? Messiah's coming, what you ain't heard. That fire's coming, you about to burn. He's sending them prophets you don't wanna learn. I vow to live for you. I vow. I'm about to make the devil really mad. I got a soul he can never have. I'm on the road on a narrow path. Messiah, my rock, falling no commands. I'ma get up when I fall like a man, like Moses did when he raised his hands. Keeping that oil in my lamp is a plane. We in the end times while you playing. I know the angels watching me. Every day I'm really on my knees. Forgive me, Father, for offending thee. I want Messiah to remember me. I ain't trying to depart from me. Plead the blood while some demons flee. Show the Father he all I need. I ain't trying to depart from me.
Hallelujah. Yeah, I receive blessed miracles. I can't tell you what happened. 1 minute feeling hopeless, the next minute we laughing. Medical conditions met with the power of fasting. Learning secrets that are frequently kept from the masses. I'm blessed in the city, blessed in the field. Blessed to have everything available in your will. Blessed to overcome my flesh, it be giving me chills. Blessed to see humility can destroy and rebuild. My wife's womb is blessed even though we lost two. Revelation a blessing, the situation was awful. A weapon form, my wife almost lost her light, but I called you. Then she woke up, guess that demon got his throat cut. Relationship tribulations, they almost broke us. Formerly under pressure, I wasn't solid, I would fold up. Scared to stand on what I said I believe. But you know what? Blessings come down when faith and obedience go up. Blessings, 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 blessings.
Oh, it's bringing me joy. Blessings, oh, I receive blessings, oh, it's bringing me joy. Blessings, oh, I receive blessings falling down on me. It keeps bringing me joy. Each new blessing I receive, it keeps bringing me joy.
Yeah, blessed with your conviction when I sin. Blessed with the addiction to repent. Yeah. Blessed with the desire to be righteous. I remember a time when I was nothing like this, yeah. I remember when what I wanted was what I wanted. No discipline or wise judgment. That's when my God was my stomach. And it's pride for destruction, arrogance for you start crashing. Felt the repercussions, turned from sin and started fasting. 9 to 5 for a paycheck, till you gave me my passion. For the time being, I gave my family an African address to give us peace from police and American madness. Give us an upright heart, so we serve you with gladness. Thankful for every breath you've allowed me to breathe. For every form of success you've allowed me to reach. For every time you let me speak to your people and preach. For a wife with a personal standard of a queen. Her accountability helped me become a king. A loving mother to my seeds, a blessing indeed. In preparation for Shabbat, she cooking a feast. Taught my children how to worship and taught them to read. Father, you keep saving me from the powers that be. You'll never let the enemy devour Jacob's seed. I live in reverse of every curse in Deuteronomy. I can forsake possessions. True blessing is your inner peace. Blessings, 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 blessings.
Oh, it's bringing me joy. Blessings, oh, I receive blessings, oh, it's bringing me joy. Blessings, oh, I receive blessings falling down on me. It keeps bringing me joy. Each new blessing I receive.
is here. It keeps bringing me joy.
Hallelujah. If you're listening to this, may the blessing of the Most High be upon you and your family. May you forsake this world, repent for your sin, turn and live a righteous life. Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High.
Spend so much time getting this money, never realized them the faces of slave owners. Niggas a snake on you, he got shot in the face over slave owners. White people smile in my face, they the children of slave owners. They all fake, I hate them all, stole our history straight from us. Buying designer clothes from families traced back to slave owners. The Jewish man a bitch, they bought the land so we can't own it. They ain't get bought to slavery on no ships, like we ain't noticed. Deuteronomy 28, explain us leaving Cape Coast. Straight folks, they stole our name and our history straight from us. King James was black and Christ was too. Man, they straight bogus, but playing with the children's roulette while it's loaded. I pray your day is closer, like bang, blow your brains open. The goal is keep us slaves with the paper. Putting drugs in the streets to keep us chasing. Yeah, keep the men out the house while they children stay going. Make it war with each other so divisions stay focused. Control the media to make them hate us. If we teach them hate theyself, they'll never make it. Yeah, discriminate them at the job and lock them up for selling drugs. If we keep on teaching hate, they will never learn to love.
They put demons all in our face, rose up idols all in our state, destroyed our mind with all of they talent, all and they piling on what they hate. Now we dying so they've raised to teach us lies with all that they say. That goes from schools to the media, designed to change the way you think and the way you pray, the words you speak and the money you pay for the things you get and the people don't know. So we marry their kids and we change our goals and the things don't grow when the kids get rich. Lose that money and the wife and kids and they start back over. This a trap for show, then they sell you music by the trap life. Seem like living in a trap life though. We don't get paid from the money they grow. We get pennies on the dollar, my bro. We get pennies on the dollar, my bro. Sometimes I really wanna holler at my bro. Tell them that we've been played on the low. We still slaves and they still own. We still slaves and they still own us.
The goal is keep us slaves with the paper. Us. Putting drugs in the streets to keep us chasing. Yeah, keep the men out the house while they children stay growing. Make it war with each other so divisions stay focused. Control the media to make them hate us. If we teach them hate theyself, they'll never make it. Yeah, discriminate them at the job and lock them up for selling drugs. If we keep on teaching hate, they will never learn to love.
Yo, shalom, shalom, shalom. Yahbashim Yavshai Barakatham.
Shalom, shalom.
To the sisters. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody is enduring, man, in the spirit, enduring in this captivity. Yo,
Come.
Shemai, how you doing, King?
Enduring, King. All
Con.
praise to the Most High God of Israel.
That's right. All praises to the Most High God of Israel. Yes, indeed. And He's our God. Nobody else is God, right? He's our God. And so, we're going to go ahead. We're going to get into it. Buzzy, I seen the title got you weak. Hey, yo, man. That's how they feel about us, man. I was in this clubhouse room dealing with these folks, man, and they really don't like us, right? They really, feel like we not the people, and they really, they show how they feel about us on a regular basis, right? They tolerate us basically. They really don't like us, man, and I don't like them. So ain't no love lost. But the thing that really gets me is when our people campaign for them. Our people come up and fight against us. It really killed me when our people say, "No, we're not the Jews or we're not Israelites." Our people want to sit up there and talk about us. Oh yeah, with your Power Ranger outfits on, this, that, and the third. Okay, we got on Power Ranger outfits, but you dressing like your master, right? You showing up to work, you know, uh, kind of, I ain't gonna be able to get it up, Salakia. Y'all showing up for work, with your suit and tie on, but you want to call us Power Rangers because we're trying to take back our heritage, because we want to disassociate from our enemy and we want to have something that's ours. We want to have a culture that's ours, right? Our people over here in the United States, in this part of the hemisphere, we don't have no culture, and what y'all want to claim as culture is not our culture, right? What Jada say? He said, "Yes, I always knew they hated us, but now I really see these people hate us to death. Literally, that's a fact. In fact, we're gonna be bringing out again, on this day in history. But I gotta bag up a little bit because we didn't do it last week, so I got to show last week, right? And show y'all this because when I look at these articles, man, it really just, man, it does something to my spirit. So like when I be like kind of out of the, or it seem like I'm out of the spirit, it just because I'm vexed by something that I just saw or something that I just heard that's really done vexed my spirit and it's taking me someplace else, man, dealing with these damn devils. But let's go ahead, let's get into some shout outs and then we go get it cracking.
Sister Joan Gilchrist, Shalom. Laura Harris, Shalom. Boaz, Shalom, King. Bazar, was it Bazarat
Bazaya.
Yah?
Bazaya.
Bazayah,
Yeah.
Shalom. John Allen, Shalom. Tawabia, Shalom. Nadia, Shalom. Sister Michelle, Shalom. Be like ants, Soldier Gary, Shalom. Yael, Shalom. Zanaya, Shalom. Ayasha, Shalom. Ain't seen you in a while, sis. Ben Yum Yum, Shalom. Yavok. Israel Battle of Axis, Shalom, King.
Yaakov.
Yaakov.
Khan.
JJ, Shalom. Captain Shaquat, Shalom. Araya, Shalom. The Bible Unlocked, Shalom. Officer Kadar, Shalom, King. Soldier Kadar, Shalom.
And again, hey, shalom to everybody who's gonna come in late, everybody who's just watching on the replay or whatnot. Hey, shalom to y'all. Hey, the water. All right. So again, we're gonna get into today. You're black, you're ugly, you ain't a Jew. Hey, who remember that movie? Who remember that movie, man? Hey, Mister was a cold piece, bruh.
Yeah.
Mister was a cold piece. But so, um, before we get into it, I wanted to go ahead and share this. So on this day in history, right? Actually, not on this day. This was like last week. But I want y'all to see this. And so I do this for a couple reasons. One, I like to show these because I ain't gonna never forget. I ain't gonna never forget what our enemy has done to us. I'm never gonna let it go. I'm
Uh,
I'm never gonna let my people forget. And I ain't talking about y'all because I know y'all ain't on that. But a lot of our people is on that forgive and forget. Or a lot of people be like, oh, it happened such a long time ago, right? That was so long ago. Ain't none of y'all was slaves. None of y'all was in slavery. None of y'all was in captivity. Well, first of all, we're in captivity now. All right. But when I look at things like this, and again, when you see the date, this happened in 1963. It's not that long ago. Really, on a timeline, it's not that long ago when this actually took place. And you can see, look at this white boy right here with his arms up. You know, he think it's funny. They think it's funny. They think it's, hey, yeah, So let's just read it. Shamar, go ahead and get into that.
Law enforcement officers in Gadsden, Alabama, tortured civil rights protesters with cattle prods. Hold on June 18, 1963, sheriff deputies in Gadsden, Alabama, used electric cattle prods on and arrested over 450 black protesters who were holding a sit-in to oppose segregation. Beginning in the fall of 1962, small groups of young black people in Gadsden began staging sit-ins and picketing to protest segregated public accommodations and
Now,
black
mind
voter
you,
suppression.
Salakia. Now, mind you, this is peaceful protest. This ain't what those crackers did when they stormed the Capitol, right? When they was busting windows and when they was breaking down doors and when they was stealing stuff. Did any of them get tased, or did any of them get? I mean, any kind of harsh treatment whatsoever? None of that happened to them in any protest that that Esau is in, right? Don't nothing happen to them. And Esau, that they could win. Say for instance, they win the Super Bowl, and when they and celebrating, they go flipping over cars and tearing
Yeah,
up the city,
yeah, they tear the city up.
right? Destroy it over a football game. The police don't do nothing to them. Or it's just good old boys having a good time. They just celebrating. But let that be us. Oh man, they calling in the cavalry. They
National
calling
Guard.
in the National Guard is coming in, right? Go ahead, finish that out.
Uh, and black voter suppression. These peaceful demonstrations continued growing and extending into the following year. In response, authority in Gadsden issued an injunction against sit-in demonstrations. On June 18, 1963, law enforcement arrested 200 protesters during a sit-in at a downtown store, and another 250 were arrested for lying down in front of the nearby county courthouse. The protesters offered no resistance as they were taken into custody, jail, and patrol wagons. Nevertheless, as sheriff deputies took the activists to jail, they tortured many of them, including several children, which the electric tips of the cattle with the electric tips of the cattle prods.
Salakia, this is what these people do. They are the border of wickedness. How do you start torturing? You're supposed to be the law. You're supposed to be law and order. And you are torturing people with cattle prods. That's what they think about us. They're using cattle prods on us. On children on top of that. Now, we just saw on the last one 2 weeks ago when I pulled up the story about the youngest person in U.S. history to be electrocuted, to be put to death in the United States prison system. The youngest person, a 14-year-old kid. So now if they will execute Salakia, if they will execute a 14-year-old kid, then using cattle prods on them ain't nothing. They do not care about you. So why do our people, and it's mainly our people that be off in the churches, and whenever we out there teaching and we talking about what's going to happen and who's salvation for our people, the first question that they want to say is, what about the white man?
Yeah.
They don't ask about no other nation. Why do you think that that's the first question that pops into their head? Is, what about the white man? What about John? Right? Come on, finish that off.
Authorities in Gadsden administered shocks to protesters. Bare feet, necks, stomachs, and genitals, sometimes laughing while doing so. In Alabama, there was a sadistic kind of
Sadistic.
joy, in inflicting pain. Student Nonviolent Coordinated Committee activist Parithia Hall later wrote about the incident. This assault on protesters in Gadsden was the first time Southern police had used cattle prods on a large group of civil rights demonstrators. The weapons later became a symbol of white resistance to civil rights movements in the South. In the month following, Gadsden police repeatedly used cattle prods on activists who continued to oppose segregation in the city despite the threat of violence.
Right. Hey, so man, again, so these people, yo, in fact, let's grab a scripture, man, real quick. Give me Malachi 1:4. Right. And then they have the caucasity to want to try to pick up our book and try to tell us who we not. They got the nerve to try to tell us who we not. But man, give me that.
It's the book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we have impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness.
They call them the
Then
border of what?
the border of wickedness.
Esau is the border of wickedness, man. That's why you can look at, or that's why we see stories like this. So we can read about stories like this. We can read about the things that these people have done in every place where Esau has been in this earth. They have brought nothing but destruction, death. That's all they do. That's what they known for. Right? Give me Job. What is it?
9 and 24.
Yeah. Right? They're the border of wickedness, man. But our people want to save them. Our people want to, hey, no, what about Kathy? What about what they call them, Karens? What about Karen? What about Karen? All right, read that for me.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Esau, the border of wickedness, the earth is given into the hand of him. All right, you don't have to look and see who's in charge right now, what's happening right now. This earth is in mourning. Like I said, everywhere they go, they destroying stuff. They bring death and destruction everywhere they go, into every continent. They came over here. What they do to the Native Americans? Native Americans, right? Slaughtered them. The Native Americans greeted them with showing them, hey, how to live in the winter, how to survive the winters. What they do to them? And then in school, what was we taught? What were we taught coming up in school? The Indians and the Pilgrims, right?
Yeah.
You know, they give us this fake history about the things that was going on. They didn't really tell us what it was. Even the programming. So we get into like programming and social programming and things such as that. But when I was growing up, and I don't know if other people other young men, ox, if y'all did it when y'all was growing up, when y'all used to play, you used to play the little cowboys and Indians, right? Who everybody always want to be? Nobody wanted to be the Indian. At least for me, when I was coming up, I wanted to be the cowboy. The Indians had bows and arrows. The cowboys had the pistols. The cowboys were right. The Indians were wrong. The Indians were the savages. They was always, trying to loot and trying to steal and trying to rob. Right? Always going into the communities, into the towns, trying to destroy the towns. Raiding people's homes. So that's all the programming, right? Even the programming, like how they programmed us about Africa. Hey, y'all remember Tarzan? Hey, you remember Tarzan, watching Tarzan back in the day? What was Tarzan? What was Tarzan's in the TV show? A white dude. How you got a white dude in Africa?
Yeah.
And he just swinging around, doing everything that he doing. But everything has been whitewashed.
Yeah,
right?
They condition us to where the white man is always the savior.
Right, exactly.
And I got a precept for that.
Come on.
Where is it at?
And I forgot to do the shout outs too, but out here in Cali, so this Saturday, this Shabbat, we're doing a unity camp at the pier. So if y'all want to come out, Pier 39, 2:00 p.m. Unity camp. And then go ahead.
It's the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 17. As for us, our eyes are yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. So we've been conditioned to where the Esau is the savior. So we look for him to be saved out of this,
right,
out of our captivity, out of our state of conditioning right now. This equality mess that they want to push. You know what I'm saying? So we always looking to Esau because we've been conditioned that way.
Right. In everything. We look to them for everything, man. And that's the programming, right? If you notice, like over the years, how the programs have changed. I think we talked about this one time before, but how you had shows like Good Times, you had shows like Family Matters, you had shows like the Cosbys. You got shows where you got the black family together, right? To now we got the shows Living Single. Right, we got shows where the black family is just broken up, and you got single women, and you got single brothers. The brothers is players. They ain't trying to wife nobody down. They're not trying to lead a family. Right? I don't even know if y'all remember the show Amen. You had shows.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Right? We don't got them shows no more. All right, so they've been slowly, gradually changing the programming, right? Because you can't do it all at once because there's going to be too much pushback. If you try to do it all at one time, people aren't going to go along with it. But if you gradually do it, right? So you gradually start saying, "Oh, you know what? Don't identify me. I don't identify as that. I identify as he, him, or they, or whatever the hell they talking about." Right? You gradually do it to gradually change the mind of the people, to gradually make things more socially acceptable. One of the brothers put up in the chat where You got the ABC community. They're walking through the streets talking about we coming for your kids, right?
I
These
saw
are,
that.
you saw that,
Yeah.
right? It's madness. This ain't conspiracy theory no more, right? It's happening. When you look at all of the award shows and you can see they don't even try to subtly do it no more. They right out in the open with it, right? It's man, brothers got to wake up, man, and really realize what time we living in.
And they condition you by doing it little by little. So
Right.
by most people not gonna notice it, and he was the one that do notice it. They probably ain't got a big enough platform or mouth to change anything. So you know what I'm saying, or they say, "No, we ain't doing that." You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Lying. So that's the way they do it in little intervals. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And by the time you know it, it's all in your face. Because me growing up in the 80s and 90s, wasn't none of that LMLP community doing stuff
Right.
going down.
Right.
They was all the way in the club.
Right. In fact, so I want to go ahead and bring this one up. So again, so the title of the class, or what we talking about here today, you're black, you're ugly, you ain't a Jew, right? They'll be quick to tell you that you're not a Jew. They're quick to tell you that you're not an Israelite. They quick to tell you that. But a grown man can say he's a woman, and ain't nobody gonna say nothing about it. Right? A man can say, I'm a woman, address me as a woman. Nobody got a problem with that. But soon as you let one of us say that we're Israelite, oh no, you ain't no Israelite. You're trying to appropriate somebody else's history. For real? Well, we go actually, let's open up the book and let's see who's appropriated whose history and who is campaigning as something that they're not. We're actually going to look at that. But this is, and just to show y'all, man, that these people don't like us. So why do you care about them? Right? I'm just going to let it play.
Arriving at the age of 3, Esther, now 40, tells us about her school career in Beverly Hills.
I went to a Jewish private school from about 5 years old until I was about 14, right before high school. It was interesting. I was the only black girl there. Everybody else was white around me. I remember that there was a rabbi in our school. Actually, he was a substitute teacher, and he came for the day. And I remember coming back from recess, and he stopped me in front of everybody, and he said, "Stop, what are you doing here?" And being an 8-year-old or 7-year-old, I think during that time, what would somebody answer? Of course, I go to school here. And he said, "Well, you're not supposed to be here." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Because you're black." I think that's one of the moments when I actually realized that I was different from everybody else. I mean, I knew I was different, but I also knew that I was color different.
Eleni, an African-American Jew of Ethiopian descent, has also experienced racism in the Jewish community.
People should really take the time to get to know, especially in the Jewish community, get to know their neighbors and get to know the people that comprise the Jewish people, and not perceive that it's only Ashkenaz Jews that are out there, only Sephardic Jews that are out there. And I think it's really tiring to explain over and over again who you are and what you're doing in shul.
Esther's father, Samu, a political exile in 1981, struggled to get his papers, a journey.
Now, I wanted to stop right there. So you see the brother, he's wearing the hat that the whatchamacallers wear.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of our people have been indoctrinated, even our people that's still over there in West Africa, right? A lot of those tribes, not all of them, but a lot of those tribes have been indoctrinated. The Limba down in South Africa, they've been indoctrinated. They've let these whatchamacallits, go over there and tell them how they're supposed to be acting. Right now, a lot of our traditions were lost. Some of our traditions they was able to keep. The whole thing is we've got to stop trying to align ourselves with them. Now, the sad thing is the sister said, she was going to a private school and she was the only black kid in the school. Why do we feel like we need to, in order to be successful or to get ahead, we've got to align ourselves with them? Why don't we start creating our own schools? Why don't we've got educated, we've got teachers who can teach. Why don't we open up our own school? Why don't we create a charter school for us? That's by us. These are things that we need to do and separate from a nation that does not like us. From nation. Yeah, come on.
That's more indoctrination, because they saying that they are the standard, that you have to get to.
Right.
Everybody else is beneath them, is below them. So everybody's trying to live up to their damn standard,
right?
Which they are the tail and we're the head. Really.
That's right.
Are you?
And just to go to let me off of that. We don't need their authentication. We don't need it.
Big con.
What we need to do is just show our people, because the problem is too many of our people, they hear something from them, and so like our people are of the mentality like, oh well, if a white man ain't said it, then it ain't true, right? They don't think that we know what we talking about. They feel like, oh no, I even in my own family, I've had people say, oh, you never went to seminary school, you don't have no theology degree. So because of that invalidates the things that I'm saying. So the whole point really, and again, is to show people through the Bible that we are who we are. We don't need them. We can separate from them, but our people got to get to that point to where they're ready to separate, that they're ready to stand alone and be alone and do it by ourselves. Let me get the book of Isaiah 83 real quick. I mean, it's Salakia, not Isaiah, Psalms.
Okay, God. It's the book of Isaiah. I mean, not damn. You gotta be saying Isaiah. The book of Psalms 83 on the top. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Right, that crafty counsel, man. That crafty counsel is this right here. That crafty counsel is no, you're not a Jew. You're not an Israelite. Hey, our people have always known who we are. That's crafty counsel. That crafty counsel of the teacher telling the sister, hey, why are you here? You're black. Oh, so because you're black, you can't be a Jew. Right? Because what we see in the media, what we see is white people. We even got the white picture of Yahweh Shai. So everything that we see is white. Everything is whitewashed. Everything. So now we don't stop to question nothing. And so it was a quote: if you tell a big enough lie for long enough, people go start believing that that's the truth. And our people are so destroyed that they believe the lies that our enemies continue to tell us. instead of going out and finding the answers. Our people be scholars on everything. Our people be scholars on how to on growing weed. How many different types of weed you can get? Man, they got so many different names. I can't even think of all of them. The only thing I remember from back in the day is Kush. Aside from that, I know they got tons more names now. And our people they brilliant at doing it. All right. Let me get 2 Chronicles real quick, 14:7. Or 7:14, Salakia. Right. Psalm said out, man, the enemies make a tumult, man. They have taken crafty counsel against the hidden ones. Who's the hidden ones, man? We the hidden ones. We're the ones that Yahweh hid his face from. Because we was going off. Because we wasn't following the laws and the commandments like he told us to do. We chose death rather than life. And so now our people go to school and they get called nigga and we get persecuted out here in these streets. And we got to feel like we're making it, we got to go to their schools. We want to affiliate with them. We want to lock arms with them because that make us feel like we made it. Instead of turning back to the source. Right? Read that for me.
It's the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 7, verse 14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and will heal their land.
Right? We got to turn back to the source. So, I mean, y'all don't got to put it up in the chat, but how many times have y'all prayed today? How many times have you turned and faced the east and petitioned the Most High? Petition the Most High to hear the cries of his people, the cries of his children, how we're crying out from captivity right now. How we're over here trying to endure. Hey, petition the Most High to send Yahweh Shai back to come get us. To get us up out of this land.
God.
I'm tired of seeing my brothers laid out in the street. I'm tired of seeing my sisters going through the things that they having to go through. Man, it's killing me. It eats me up inside, man. And so, like I said, y'all don't gotta put it in the chat, but just ask yourself, how many times did you actually get on your knees? Even if you didn't get on your knees, maybe you just stood and you faced the east and said a prayer. How many times did you do that? Have you had enough yet? And like, man, I'm ready to go. I can't take this no more. Right? So you got these people, these imposters trying to play like they're like us. He said, the man said, what are you doing here? You're black. Give me Exodus 2:19. Everybody, all the patriarchs were black, so-called. The Messiah was black. But they gonna tell you that you're not the people. Right? Read that.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 2, and verse 19. And they said, an Egyptian deliver us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us and watered the flock.
It said an Egyptian delivered us. Right? Who are they talking about? What is this talking about right here? What person is they talking about delivered them?
Moses.
Right? So Moses was mistaken for an Egyptian. Of course, He grew up in Pharaoh's house. So if Moses is mistaken for an Egyptian, he grows up in Pharaoh's house. How can Moses be mistaken for an Egyptian if Moses is a white man? And the thing is, their scholars, they know the original, they know the color of the original people. Everybody knows that the Egyptians were melanated people. Now, over the years, through wars and conquests, they've changed. But the Egyptians of antiquity were dark people. We know this, right? Give me Exodus 4 and 6. Moses was mistaken for a black man. So y'all gotta stop letting these white people tell you who you are. Stop letting these white people tell you that you ain't a Jew or you're not an Israelite. Telling you that you're trying to appropriate somebody else's history because yours was stolen from us. Right? Read that.
The book of Exodus chapter 4 and verse 6. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, put now thy hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow.
So he take his hand, he sticks it in his garment, he pulls it out, and now his hand is as snow. So what color was his hand before that? Right? Keep on reading.
Verse 7. And he said, put thy hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
Right? So, man, Moses being mistaken for an Egyptian, growing up in Pharaoh's house, right? Sticks his hand into his garment, pulls it out, and now it looks, it's leprous as snow. Then he puts it back and it goes back to the same color as his normal flesh. Obviously, Moses was a so-called black man, right? To prove that even further, that we've been mistaken for Egyptians. Give me the book of Acts. Acts 21. Acts 21 and give me verse 38.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 21 and verse 38. Art not thou an Egyptian, which before these days made us an uproar, and led us out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were numbered, that were murderers?
In the chat, who is this talking about? Who's it talking about, man? We got somebody else that's been mistaken for an Egyptian. Right? And this is in the New Testament. We got one from the old, we got one from the new. But this is to show you that we've been mistaken. They've been thinking that we was another people when we weren't. But this is why, again, in the Bible, you see, where did we always flee to? Where did Yahushua flee to? Or where did Joseph and Mary flee to when Herod was trying to kill him, right? Paul was mistaken for an Egyptian. These Edomites are not us. And when people always be like, oh, well, Esau isn't the white man, we're going to prove that Esau is the white man. Emphatically. We're going to show you that. And so this is for the brothers who also say that Esau is the so-called black man. Because we got those too. There's brothers that say Esau is a black man.
Man.
Right? So so in fact, let me play the rest of this.
Full of pitfalls where the Jewish community has repeatedly tried to harm it.
Every meeting I go, like Esther said, you don't look Jewish. How do you become Jewish? They say everybody doesn't look Jewish. Everybody looks like where they come from.
Elisheva Rishon, a Brooklyn Jew and African American, moved to Los Angeles and launched a clothing brand inspired by her story.
I also want people to feel proud of being Jewish, because right now in America, there has been a huge spike in anti-Semitism, and a lot of people feel afraid to show their Jewishness, and I think we should do the exact opposite. I think we should proudly show who we are.
But it's not just about Black Jews. American Jews in this Latin community have a hard time being heard.
Especially in Jewish communities, there is a unique tie between our historical experience with oppression and modern current expressions of disenfranchisement.
I'll stop right there. Oh man. So we have to first understand who the enemy is. We've got to understand the lies, the deception that has been taking place for centuries. All right, this ain't a new thing. Give me the book of Ephesians real quick. Ephesians 6.
From the top.
No, hold on. Let me double check, make sure what verse I want. Give me Ephesians 6 and verse 12.
It's the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Hey, so that's what we fighting against, man. You know, spiritual wickedness in high places. So like I said, again, this that we up against, that we fighting against, this lie has been told and has been given, and the people who are running the media, the people who are in control of media, they're making sure that the true information does not get out, to keep people lost, to keep people asleep. And I hate the word woke, because a lot of our people talking about I'm woke, but you're not woke. You're still asleep. You're sleepwalking, because you still really don't know what's going on. You don't know the main thing, right? The most important thing, and that's who you go back to. That's why our people are still sleeping. So we not wrestling against flesh and blood, man. We are fighting against spiritual wickedness in high places, right? What did I want? Oh, give me the book of Acts 13 and 1 real quick.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 13 and verse 1. Now therefore were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that were called Niger.
Right? Stop right there. So I got it pulled up in the blue letter. All right. This is the word. This is how it's spelled. Niger. Now, it's in the etymology, right? They done added another G, but it's still the same word. All right. I'm gonna play the sound so you can hear how it sounds. That is not pronounced Niger, as some people like to say. Oh no, that says Niger. All right. So here's the sound.
Strong's G 3526. Niger.
All right, that sounds like nigger to me.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's see what it means. Pull it up. What it mean? Black. Right. So they try to play these games and say, oh no, that doesn't mean black. No, it does mean black. And this is what they was called. The prophets, the apostles, They were black men. Yahushua was a black man. And again, I could care less if these other nations believe it or not. We have to believe it. Our people have to believe it. And our people have to stop wanting to include these people into the blessing with us. Because Esau finds no place of repentance. There's no place of repentance for Esau. And so now let's go through and show who Esau is, right? So let's start first with Genesis 25 and give me verse 25. And Israel, we ain't gonna be long tonight, because my head is thumping right now. Anyhow,
You said you want to start at 25?
yeah, kind.
Okay. Genesis 25 and 25. Then the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
Mm-hmm.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob.
Right.
And Isaac.
The first thing that they always want to do, they say, "Oh, see, it came out red all over like a hairy garment," right? And so, I heard somebody talking about, oh, he had the blood on him, or he was covered in blood, that's why it was red. They try to do all little different types of tap dancing and try to get away that this is the birth of the Caucasian nation, right? Keep on reading.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she buried them.
Mm-hmm.
And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
Hey, tell me, Esau today ain't all you see is pictures of Esau out there hunting, done killed an elephant. They taking pictures posing by dead lions. Right? Esau go out and Esau kill everything. Any and everything, they kill it. It's good hunting for them. But that's what the blessing was. Right? Read that again.
Verse 27, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
Right? Hey, when I was in the military, being in Esau's military, you see a lot. And they love being out there in the field. They love putting all the paint on their face and playing their little war games. And that's what they love to do. Right? Read on.
And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field.
Okay, hold on. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. So actually, read 24.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
No, that jump up one. I want to get where it said two nations.
Yeah, it's 23.
Yeah, come.
Verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
Right. So two nations are within her womb, two manner of people. So now if it's two different nations, yeah, they're twins, but it's two different nations and two manner of people. Right. And so now you go through, you get a full description of what Esau looks like. Right. He's red all over. You ever seen a white baby born? When they first come out, what do they look like? I wish I had my slide up. I will show you what a little white kid looked like when they first come out the womb. All right, but he was red and hairy all over. Two nations, two manner of people. All right, now look, we're going to show that Esau is the white man, because some of our people, you get that, they still not gonna believe. Like I said, you got some of our people who will say that Esau is a so-called black man because they were twins, right? So let me get the book of Second Esdras, chapter 6, and start at verse 7.
It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 6, and verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall it be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, of him Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Right? So Esau is the end of the world, man. So now, we always say, in fact, we just last week was talking about, we in the end times. Right? So Esau is the end of the world. Esau is bringing this world to an end. All these wars, right? These rumors of wars. We waiting on the third world war right now. Esau is destroying the world, man. Esau is the end of the world. Right? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So all you gotta look at and see who's in control right now, and that's gonna tell you who Esau is. Right? But now I want you to go to the book of First Maccabees. Give me chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 1.
It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, came out of the land, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, and smitten Darius, king of Persia, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
Right. So Alexander the Freak was a Macedonian. Right. What race was Alexander the Greek? Right. We're about to walk this thing out. What race was Alexander the Greek? Go ahead, read verse 7.
I didn't hear you.
Read verse 7.
Verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. And his servants bare rule, every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
Saying evils were multiplied in the earth.
What a wickedness.
Right? Come on, read.
Verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been an hostage at Rome. And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Right. So, hey, is y'all sleep in the chat? What race is Alexander the Greek? What race is Alexander the Greek? Right? Because we just seen that he was he's a Macedonian, right? But what were they? What for lack of a better words, what color was Alexander the Greek?
Yeah, we learned that in history.
Right? Man, they sleep.
So he was a great man and stuff.
Right. So I just say it because y'all sleeping out there. God damn, what time is it? It ain't even that late out there. All right, so Alexander the Greek was a white man, right? Con sister Joanne. Alexander the Greek was a white man, right? And here just said that he was a Macedonian, right? Give me the additions to the book of Esther. And let me get chapter 16 and verse 10. So it's well known that Alexander the Greek was a so-called white man. And he was a
16 and
Macedonian.
10. All right. It's the book of Editions of Esther, chapter 16 and verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
For Amon, a Macedonian, the son of
Who is a what?
Amenathah, a Macedonian.
Right? The same thing that Alexander the Greek was. Right? A Macedonian. Come on.
Being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood, and far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received of us.
Right? So the key thing, right, is that Amon was a Macedonian. Right? Alexander the Greek was a Macedonian. And then it said that Amon was the son of Amadatha. Now, who is that talking about? Who is Amadatha? All right. Anybody in the chat know who Amadatha is? Or who Amon is? All right. Who is this talking about? Y'all taking too long. All right. Go to the book of Esther. Give me the book of Esther, chapter 3, and give me verse 10.
It's the book of Esther, chapter 3 and verse 10. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Amon, the son of Hammedatha, the Agite, the Jews' enemy.
The Jews what?
Enemy.
Right? So when we looked at the editions of Esther, and it says Amon, this is Haman, right? Haman was the son of Hammedatha, who was an Agite. All right. Haman was a Macedonian. The same thing that Alexander the Greek was. Alexander the Greek was a Macedonian. Now, Haman was what? He was also the Jews' enemy. Right? Hammedatha was an Agagite. Who are the Agagites? Right? Who are the Agagites? So see, we're just connecting dots right now. That's all we're doing, connecting dots. Get 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 15 and start at verse 7.
It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15 and verse 7. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until the coming to Shur, that is over against Egypt.
Right. So the Saul Salakia. Saul smote the Amalekites, right? Read the next verse.
Verse 8. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword.
Right. So he took Agag, who was the king of the Amalekites. All right. Now go to Genesis 36. Because the Macedonians descend from the Agagites. All right. So if the Macedonians descend from the Agagites, who are the Agagites? Right. The Agagites descend from King Agag. Agag was an Amalekite. Right? Who are the Amalekites? The enemy of the Jews. Who are the Amalekites? All right, give me Genesis 36 and start at verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 36, from the top. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom.
Jump down to verse 10.
Verse 10. These are the name of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau; Ruel, the son of Bashemath, the wife of Esau. And the
Come on.
sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zophar, and Gatham, and Kenaz. You
Come on.
going? And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the son of Adah, Esau's wife.
Right. So Amalek goes back to who? Amalek goes back to Esau. Right. So now we just drew a straight line to show you who Alexander the Greek is a descendant of. Alexander the Greek was a descendant of Esau. History knows. History will tell you. Any secular historian will tell you Alexander the Greek was a white man. So now if Alexander the Greek goes back to Esau, if Alexander the Greek is an Edomite, who are the Edomites? The so-called white people. We see in Genesis that two nations of people was in her room. Two manner of people. These are our enemies. We was taken into captivity by our enemies. Our enemies took our history from us. We've lost our history. So now it's not about, like I said, proving it to them. I could care less if they know or not. We got to know. Our people got to know. Our people got to understand that these people are our enemies. At the end of the day. And now, even though they call themselves Ashkenazi, hey, them people, the whatchamacallits, they go back to Amalek. That's why we were told to destroy them. And we didn't. If we had obeyed the Most High, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in right now. But we didn't listen to the Most High. We didn't destroy them as we were supposed to. You got anything, King?
Yeah, to that point of we didn't destroy them. Where he said they're gonna be a thorn in our side.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
I'm gonna get Numbers 33 and 55. I think that's what you're looking for.
It's the book of Numbers, chapter 33 and 55. But if ye will not drive out the inhabitants of the land from before you, then it shall come to pass that those with ye let remain of them shall be pricked in your eyes and thorns in your sides, and shall vex you in the land wherein ye dwell. Yeah, because we didn't listen. And when Saul was told to destroy the Amalekites and he didn't listen, he said, because he was commanded to utterly destroy everything, cattle, women, children, and definitely the men, and he didn't. Now they're gonna be a thorn in our side.
Right.
Until Yahushua come back.
Right. And and with that, I'm really not feeling good right now. So you got anything else? Because I'm gonna shut it down.
All
right, Khan. I'll praise to the Most High. So Israel, that was a real quick one. Like I said, we'll get into some more things. I got a lot more articles that I want to bring up that I want to go over. But we'll get into that next week. But with that being said, hey, grab that Daniel 7. Okay.
So book of Daniel chapter 7 verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
All right. By Shema Mashiach Yahushai. And with that, we are the Anointed House of Saints. Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
This is not a test.
Black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, black skin.